Hey guys, welcome to today's stream. We had a bit of a problem which crashed my editor, so we are basically having to set things up again. So you're gonna have to bear with me for a second or two as I reset up the stream as I like it. But we'll get that done as soon as we possibly can for you. And then we are going to have a look at our pickup count. Okay, so basically what I think is happening is that basically our minimap and our stun pickups are being counted towards the total pickups, right, which isn't what we really want. Now we're nearly up to date with our reloading of stuff. I am just going to delete the previous video, which was basically the start screen, which isn't ideal, and get my chat up so that I can see you guys and if you're actually saying anything. So as again, sorry about the delay, but basically the project was not loading up at all and it was sitting at 0% and I had to restart my computer to get it working. So basically I'm having to delete stuff off of Discord and YouTube at the moment, but I shall be right with you guys and we should be about there now. So hopefully we are all set up. Hopefully you guys haven't missed anything of great note. And even my Google Restore didn't work, which is obviously awesome as well. I'm sorry about the delay here, but I've got to get everything set up to work. And we should be good now. So, without further ado, let's get back to our project. Right, so what we need to do is we need to go into a separate level, a new level. We need to place down a couple of pickups. Right, we're going to need our player start. Now, we've got our plane at minus 100, which is fine. And now we just need layout parts, right, to see if that is what is actually causing our issue. Then, if it is, we can then go about fixing it. Okay, so we can do that as a 0. Then we can duplicate it and move it into the proper place. And we can duplicate another. It doesn't matter the shape of this at all. this is purely for testing purposes. Okay, so if we do a fourth one, and that's not right. So what we'll do is duplicate that. That should keep everything in line. Okay. So we have our player start, and we just want to move it into the proper position. Right? And if we press play, right, we are absolutely okay. And now what we want to do is basically at our second one, we can now set it to minimap. Okay, and then on the last one we can set that to stun. Now we can press play, and we've picked up one, and our minimap says 2, which is actually correct. So it seems that it's the pickup and not the count. Okay. So you'll notice that when we pick that up, no, that was actually correct. Right? That is actually correct. Which of course means that it must be something else. Okay. So it must be one of the other parts that are causing us the problem. Okay. So this should now be 3, and that's correct. We've got that, and the stun doesn't, and that's right. Okay, so it seems at the moment that everything is good, but it obviously isn't. So we need to do a turn. Right, and line that up. Right, so we're now on 1 of 4, so that's 2. Three, and then that's correct. Okay, so we have an issue here. So we've now done a turn, We've done a T-junction, and the question is it an end issue? Okay. And the end does not have the correct thing. So that's all good. Right? But we still have an issue here. Right? And now we need the four-way . Undo that. Undo that. And for whatever reason, that wasn't quite working properly. Right, so that's speed, that's stun, that's right. Okay, that's right. So what we'll do is we'll make everything stun except for the last one. Okay. And we'll just make them minimap. So that means that we have one speed. And that is correct. Right? So the question has to be, right, so if we go back into here, at level 1, we need to find out what is the problem. Okay. And what we actually need to do here as well is we need to go into the controller. Right? Which is actually in here. Right? And we need to see when we do a pickup item, if it's actually okay. So my point here is this. Okay, when I go and do this, okay, we have 175. Okay, now I'll need you guys to keep a count on this. So that's 16. And what I'm going to have to do here is actually get this out of the way. We're on 19. And that's us back at the start, right? So we want to meticulously go through this and find out why. I've got my suspicions about this one, guys. I think that there's a couple of duplicate parts or something. Right, so we're on 34. Okay, we're up to 48. Okay. So we're picking up, basically we are trying to clean up everything that we can and find out if there's any weird counts or anything. Right. So we're up to 79. And what we want to know is at which point does it break. Okay, now what I want to do here is we want to go into Pawn Chronicles, right? And we want to check here, right? We want to break it right there and find out what it basically says at that point. And we're at 110 at the moment, and we probably want to go back. And we can go from here. Okay, so that's us back at the start. And now we can check over here. We have a door. So this says 175, right? And I kind of get the feeling right, we're not too worried about him at the moment. We're just trying to get this count right. So we know that it definitely says 175. We're on 170 now. Alright, and this is back at the start. So we'll check up here and see where the final 5 are, hopefully. And that's the end. Okay, so where's these final 5? Ah, here they are. Right, so 71. There seems to be a heck of a lot more. Let's see if we can actually count these. Well, let's see if we can actually go around them. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's, so that's 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the corner. Six. So basically, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 4 too many. Okay? For some reason, we have 4 too many. And when we do the count, right, BP pickup speed. Right, so that should be fine. So I can only assume that somehow we have like double the components. Or right, the interesting thing here would be if I do this, and let's say we can paste that there, right, and we'll put this into 1. Drag that up again. Now, the only thing I can think of here we're going to do print string, right, and we're going to put it up for 30 seconds. And we're going to do append, and we're basically going to do speed, and we're going to put that in there. Then we're going to put that in there. We're going to put that in there, right? But then we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to say BP pickup stun. Alright, and what we'll do is pick up speed BP underscore pick up speed master. Right, is this going to do this actually? Or is it going to sit here and look at me forever? Looks like it's going to sit and look at me forever. Right, I'm guessing that's the right thing. Right, so we'll duplicate that again. And this time we'll do the minimap. Okay. Save that. Okay. We'll do length. We'll delete that. Pull that out. Plug it in there. We'll do the same. Out. Length. Get that. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if this is 6 better or 6 more than the 175. Okay. So we'll do a save all. We'll press play. The interesting thing is, if we hit 1, we've got 1 minimap, 3 stun, and 175 speed. Right? So it isn't even the difference, or was it? Was it in fact the difference? So the speed pickups were fine, except I'm not 100% sure that we should do this here. Okay, I am more of the inclination that we should basically fire this into an actual function. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll get this in a function, and we shall say it's called get total pickups, right? Then basically we shall copy that, and we'll delete that. We shall do that. We'll drag this over, right? Then we'll go back to our total pickups. We'll press play. We'll save that. Then we'll go back to the event graph. Right, this is doing after a second. So what we'll do is we'll get total pickups. We'll save that. We'll press play. And we're still on 175. And all I can actually think of here is that I need to rebuild this level, right? Because what I think is happening is there are some early builds that don't have the right part. That's 2 is stun. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom out of this. I'm going to see if there's anything kind of weird going on here. I've only got two different, I have two different, or probably only one actually. I've probably only got one possible thing that's happening, right? And that is that there's a couple of duplicate straights or something. Right? That's the only thing I can think of that's causing us an issue here. Right, we're going to leave in the one with the minimap, right? Now, we're going to change the stun to speed. And now that should give us 176. Right? And right, see that one there? That's minus 2.4. That's 2.84. Right, that's okay. That's okay. I can only think here that I've copied a section and it hasn't moved it. And I haven't moved it, so it's basically in the same position as the previous one. Right, so if I press play now and hit 1, I get 176, which is correct. Right? Right, so that's okay because we don't pick up. Our pickups are working, but there's something weird going on because we've got right. I think what we're going to have to do now, right, is we're going to have to change everything to speed. Right? And then count the number of parts we have. Right? And interestingly enough, we can do that. We can say layout. And that's not going to do it for us. We're going to have to do layout straight, and we're going to have to count these, right? So that's 120. And in actual fact, right, if I do that base layout part, if I get every single base layout part, so if we go into Chronicles again in the pawn, right, and then I do this, okay, and then I do base layout part, and then length, then we basically say base parts, and now if we press play and we hit 1, we have 360 base parts. Now, how is that even possible? Well, I guess that if I go to the layout, this is turning out to be a bit tougher than I thought actually. Is this? Yeah, it's a base layout part. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to go back to our pawn, which for some reason I closed down. Don't know why, but there you go. Right, so this is not what we want. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to have to get each individual type of part. Right, so for example, we're going to have to get, it's going to be a layout 4-way. And we could actually do this as a sequence, right? Because we're going to have to do a few of these. And then probably the best thing to do here is add a variable, and we'll say part count, and it's going to be an integer, and we'll save that. Okay. And before we come in here, we're going to set this to be 0. So that's fine. Yeah, and here I thought this was going to be a simple fix. Right. not going to do that. We're not going to do that either. This is going to be at the end, basically. So we're going to get actor class again. We're going to do it again. And we're going to say layout, and it's not going to be ceiling, it's going to be door. Then this one, layout, and the end part isn't one either, and we're not going to do room edge, we're not going to do that one. Room entry, nope. I don't know about that one, but we're going to do straight. Then we're going to do T-junction. And then we're going to do turn. Right, and we're going to get the lengths of all them. But I'm going to go and grab a quick cigarette. So if you're enjoying the stream, help me get to 500. I'm nearly there. Hit like and subscribe. Check out the description for links to my Discord and ways to support the channel on Patreon, and also my previous game on Steam. I shall be right back, and I'll be letting you know the Champions League scores when I get back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Okay guys, we are back and let's take a quick look at some Champions League scores before we continue. What do we have? So we had Inter Milan knocking out Barcelona earlier on. Liverpool are 1-0 up against Ajax. Napoli are 2 up against Rangers. Barcelona are being beaten 2-0 at home by Bayern. Sporting are beating Tottenham 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We have Atletico Madrid are losing 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen at home, and Frankfurt are beating Marseille 2-1. So that would mean that probably Atletico Madrid are going out. Barcelona are already out. Tottenham are making a hot mess of it. And yeah, there we go. And we will check one more number, which is one more important number for us. Before we do anything, and we are still on 493 subscribers, so we still need 7 more, and now we're going to get some lengths. And I'm just wondering, actually, I don't think that I can duplicate these and use them. Maybe I can. Let's see. I can. It didn't like that before. Right, so that's going there. That's going there. And then what we're doing at the end is we're going to print this, right? But what we want to do is get this and then basically add right, and then we're going to have to duplicate this a few times. As I said, this has turned out a bit more complicated than I actually thought it was going to be. I thought the actual problem was kind of staring us in the face, but apparently not. And we add them, and then basically we've got to set this a number of times. So this is all rather repetitive, but it's going to have to get done to get to the bottom of this issue, right? And these are some of the things that you've just got to do sometimes, so we may as well get it done. As I said, not the most exciting of things, but it's part of development, I'm afraid. And since we're doing development, then we can't really avoid it. Right, these can all get moved back a bit to here. Then these, darn it, these can all get moved up a bit. And then we're going to plug that in there, and that in there. Then that in there, and that in there. That in there, and that in there. Drag these down a touch, I suppose. Doesn't matter because this is all going to get deleted anyway, but we shall carry on for now. We need to do this to find out exactly where the problem is. Right, so we're going to join that there, join that there, join that there, join that there, and then we're going to drag this over, and then we're going to join that there, and then we're going to get this, we're going to plug that in there, and we're going to plug that in there. We're going to save that, then we're going to press play, and then we're going to press 1, and it's 179 base parts. So yeah, that's working. Right, so that is exactly the number of parts that I would expected. So I'm kind of flummoxed. Is there a part that I missed? Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main parts. Right, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so the only thing now and that doesn't even make sense, or does it? That would be 4, so the end part Hey Slors, how you doing, bud? We are currently struggling with our part count. Right? So, what we're going to do, quite simply, is set them to none. Right, now if we press play, I didn't mean to do that. What I meant to press was 1. Right, we've got 57. And the stuns are not Yay! Just give me a second to report these. Right, so basically now what I need to do is say turn right, and basically select all of them and change them to none. Okay, and if we press play now and hit 1, we're now down to 15. We've still got our 2 stuns, but right, so the next one is going to be 4, right, and if we now set them to none, and the next one we can do is the door, and we can set all of those to none. We've done the straight, we've done the turns. The only one we've got now is the T-junction, right? So there isn't that many of them. So if we press 1, we've got 7, right? So in theory, one, two, three, 4. Now, I believe that our T-junctions might be the issue here. None. Okay. So we've got none, none, Larry blah. Right? So, what we should do is our first one here should be our minimap. Okay? And that sets us to 0, 0. Okay? Now, the next one should be our I'm going to type in layout, except we're going to spell it right, except we'll still try and spell it right. Right, so basically these are our T-junctions, right? Round the outside, down the middle there. down there. That's fine. Right, that looks okay. There's something that doesn't look okay, but we're not going to worry about that for now. This kind of doesn't look okay. Except maybe it is. Right, so if we do our 4 ways, right, and we set them to speed. Okay, there is 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so if we press play and we hit I, we've got 9. Okay, which is right. So that's 2, 3, and we know we've got to go around the outside here, but there's nothing up there, which is fine. Right, so we're on 3, we're now on 4. We're on what? What? That's okay. Did that suddenly jump? Or am I hallucinating? Did any of you guys see that? Did that go from 4 to 6? Or am I hallucinating? So we're on 1, now on 2, now on 3, four, we're on 4, 5, 6. Now we should still have our code here actually. Right, we're on 6, 7, and that's the end. Eight. And 9. Okay. I don't know why we're doing a Bravo slurs. Right, so the next thing we need to do is try this out with the turn. Right, we'll give them speed. Then we'll press play. And this time we've got 51. Right, so our counter is correct. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6 and 7. Eight, 9, 10. So we want to see if there's something weird going on here. Right, so 19. And let's see. That looks to me like right, I think this is going to be off. It appears to me that this might be the issue. We're on 36, okay? Keep that in mind. We probably want to go back here because there was a couple up that end somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. Well, it's up here. I think we need a center point under the player as well on this one. Right, we're on 41. We're on 45. And we're back at the start. We're on 47. .48. Now, the interesting thing here is if we do speed pickup and there's only one left, right? So that suggests that this is going to work fine. That should say 51, 51. So that is absolutely fine. Right, so let's press play and hit 1. Right, and we do layout underscore T underscore junction. So that's the T junctions, right? And then we did the doors, I believe. Yep, we've done the... Wait a minute. No, we didn't do the doors. So let's do the doors. So that's doors. We're doing everything but the straights, okay? So now when we press play and hit 1, we're now on 58. And that shows correctly. And there's a door over there. Well, I thought I'd have this fixed in about 5 minutes, and it's just not appearing to be the case at all. Give me a second, guys. Okay guys, we're back, and I can't remember where I was now, which is awesome. Right, but we're trying to get to this 58 again and make sure we get the right count. And we want to make sure there's no more dots on the map. So we are now on 22. And we might have one on that other side there, but there's a few up here, so we'll grab them first. 24. 26. Okay, we'll go through this way. Right, we'll go through this door. On 32. Right, so that's 40. We want to come back and then back up here and then straight up, right, and we're now on 42. $45, $46. I'm going to go down this way. Okay, there's some stuff down to the left here. And we're on 46. And we're going to go up here first. We're on 53, and that's us back to the start, so we'll go back this way. So it's 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, and 58. So that looks okay. Okay, so let's look at the final part. So we've got our T-junction, we've got our door, we haven't got our four-way, I don't think. what I want to do is look to see where these are. Right, that's definitely a four-way. That's no, that's not a four-way. So it looks to me like there is only one four-way there. So basically that really can't be the issue. Right? So I'm going to leave that at none. But see that there? I don't know why that is called four-way. Because it doesn't seem to be a four-way. Right? If we look at that, right? That ain't a four-way. That's a T-junction. So I don't know why it's coming up in there as a four-way. And that's got none. Right. I don't know why that's called a four-way, but it's not. And there's another one, which is this one here. And I don't know why that's a four-way. Now, that's bizarre. And I don't know if these are causing the issue. Right, because that is absolutely bizarre. Anyway, I'm actually going to call it here. I am going to actually recreate this whole level. Right, I'm going to basically delete it and replace it as I go. Okay, but maybe the first thing that I'm going to do in this case is there's some things that shouldn't be called the way they're called. Right, this BP layout four-way should not be the layout four-way, and this one here should also not be a four-way because it's actually a T-junction. Right, if we look at it, it's a T-junction. So why that is called a four-way, I have no idea. Right, but this is what I was talking about earlier on, that we may need to recreate this level again with the correct parts, right? Because it's obviously getting itself confused somewhere along the line, right? Now, where that line is, I don't know. But we're going to do one thing first, right? We're going to set all these to none. Then we're going to get our layout. And we're going to do BP underscore layout. Then we're going to get our T right. We can do all of these at once, so we can basically grab all of these and set them to none. So that's us done our turns and our T-junctions, and apparently our four ways, right? But we actually haven't done our four ways, but yeah, we have. So we need to do our doors, right? And by the end of this, we should be set to basically none. So we've done four-way, done door, done T-junction, done turn. So if I press play here and I hit 1, yeah, we've got 0, right? We've just got our mini map, right? So now if I do straight, and I basically select every straight and do speed, okay, that was 120, right? But we're going to do this one as the minimap, right? And that gives us 119. So if we hit 1, we're on 119 one minimap, right? Which is absolutely 100% correct, right? So every straight should have right? So that's us done the start part. We've got 20, okay? right? We'll try and do each like section as we go, so that if we pick up, if we're going to go off rails, then it's going to go off rails at a particular point, right? So we'll come up here, we don't want a section basically on its own that's going to be sitting there in case we don't notice that everything is actually done. Any engine, AlphaCraft, any engine is a good choice if you can get your game to work with it. If you want graphics out the box, then Unreal Engine is probably the right answer. But there's so much more that it depends on. It depends on your programming experience, if you want to use blueprints. It depends on a lot more than just a particular engine for that, right? Every engine will do it, right? But it will depend on how much experience you have, etc., to make it actually work. So the simple answer is Unreal Engine a good engine? Yes. Will it do a horror survival game? Yes. There's already like assets on the store that are built to actually do exactly what you're saying, right? Which is build a horror survival game. Right, blueprints. Right, well, the problem is that you still need to be able to code, right? You still need a basic understanding of how to program. Otherwise, you won't be able to achieve anything, right? So, if you've never done any programming, then you can't get away from the fact that you need to do some sort of programming introduction, right, to get the very basics of how you actually program, because otherwise you're going to find it very, very difficult. Not saying it's impossible, but you need to understand the basics of programming, stuff like how to do loops, how to use arrays, how objects work, all of that stuff. And there's really no getting away from it. Hi, Mr. Spock. Well, if you understand a bit, then yeah, you can have a go at it. As I said, you got to start somewhere. Yeah, Mr. Spock, it's looking great, but the problem is that it's not counting the correct number of pickups for some unknown reason, which I'm trying to work out. Right, there should be 3 pickups on the map somewhere here. Yay, bot time. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm trying to find I might need to rebuild this level. It might be just a case of redundant parts that haven't refreshed properly. Right? No, it's not a breakpoint thing. It's an overall thing. I think that there are redundant parts that aren't functioning like the newer parts that should. Right? It sometimes happens that if you change a blueprint within a level, right? Say like I'm using stuff here, right? Like all the different parts, the layouts parts, right? It sometimes is the case that they don't update within the level, even though you've updated them in the blueprint, right? And basically, they don't work as they should. I think that was the thing there. And not even very good at my own game. Well, I haven't said that. I'm not very good at my own games normally anyway. Alright, I'm getting the feeling that I'm away the wrong way again. I'm absolutely terrible at, what do you call it, when, like, first person shooters and that, I've got absolutely zero. Right. Look at this, right? Here's the problem. It's something to do with the straights. Right? Because, look at that, we have 3 to pick up, but we've got 4 on the map. Right? So I have basically found the issue, and it's to do with the straights for some reason. Right? I'm going to... Right? So basically what's going to happen is the level's going to finish before it should. Right? Because it hasn't counted all the parts. Right? So as I kind of said, there is a part here, a straight at the end of the rainbow that isn't right. But it might not be this particular part. It might be because this is the last part I did. Okay? So, like, if I pick up that, and look at that, there's another part up there. Right? Now, if I pick this up, you'll notice that if I go back, there are still 2 dots on the screen. Right? And those 2 dots on the screen means that we should have 121 pickups, not 119. Now, one of the interesting parts is that if we remember a minute ago, when we were looking at T-junctions, there was 2 of them that didn't make any sense, right? And that is why I am kind of screwy on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of here and we're as well calling it for today, or this afternoon anyway. I shall be back at 8 PM Central. So if you've enjoyed the stream, hit the like and subscribe. We are 7 subscribers away from 500. And if you want to support the channel, you can check on Patreon. And you'll also find my previous game on Steam called FTD2, which is a tower defense game. But I'll let you see this. I'll let you see this issue. Right, it's basically 4-way, right? But there's 2 of them that aren't 4-ways. They're actually T-junctions, and I don't know why they're not T-junctions, right? Because that is not a 4-way. Now, I'm just wondering if these actually had a pickup on them, or if they're affecting the count in some way. And it looks to me, well, actually, they haven't. It hasn't. Right? But there's something weird going on with these T-junction places. Now, the interesting thing is this is another one right next to it. Right, so these 2 are the ones that are weird right at the start and over here. And strangely, when I got to the final count, this is where there was a problem. Right, now I'm not saying that that is actually the issue, but this is what I'm going to investigate off screen. So first things first, here's an update for you guys on the Champions League scores. So from tonight, it's Ajax 0, Liverpool 3, Napoli 3, Rangers 0, Barcelona 0, Bayern Munich 3, Tottenham are drawing 1-1 with Sporting, Atletico Madrid are 2-2 against Bayer Leverkusen, and Frankfurt beat Marseille 2-1. And with that, guys, thank you for watching, and bye bye for now.